So, hi, Catherine. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, Jillian. How about you?
I am good. Thank you so much for being on today. So, to start, will you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. So I'm Katherine Tozduman, and my business is called the Crafty and we host private events and team building events for corporate companies, specializing in DIY crafts. Aside from our private event landscape that we do, we also have an Etsy store and a website where, let's say you attend an event, you want to embrace the fun that you had with your family, you can purchase a kit. Um, but those are like the majority of my three streams of how business comes into the crafty kit.
That's awesome. I got mine yesterday. I can't wait to try it out.
Yay.
And I love that the packing material is actually used in the kit too. So, like, you use everything that came in the box.
Yes. And a lot of people take that for granted. Sometimes we ship biodegradable items. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope the pets don't get to them because it smells like peanuts.
Oh,
And then they're like, oh, wait, it smells like popcorn actually. And they get to it. But my goal is really to have everyone kind of repurpose
yes,
the
I
kit.
love that part too. So, I know the mission of your business is the importance of taking breaks during your workday.
Mm-hmm.
So, why do you think breaks are so important?
It's necessary because we could burn out
Yes.
completely. We could totally end up burning out. And just speaking from myself, I have burned out just from managing the business, but especially in a corporate environment where you're dealing with office politics, to-do lists, meetings. You're like in an elevated high school, right?
Yes.
You're going from
Yes.
another or zooming in and it's like the minute you go to the water machine, there's like some chatter going on. And it really helps you really escape. Um, because yes, we could listen to meditation, but then we'll probably meditate and then we go look at our phones and then scroll on social media and then you're not relaxing. Or maybe you think social media is relaxation, but like a craft really helps you kind of start it and like helps you start, but also end it at the same time. Um, so that's kind of and during that time, it helps you really not focus on any other things. Obviously, some people have that challenge of really breaking up. Like, what do you mean I'm not working? It takes time.
Yes.
Time and really kind of measuring the room and how they're feeling, kind of also allowing them to feel comfortable is the next big thing that when in our classes that we're really trying to focus like guys, it's okay to be you.
Yes. Yeah. I find when I'm like working too much and can't really focus, if I leave and go do something else, I come back and I'm more focused. I'm able to get things done.
Yes. And we definitely need that. We need that
Yes.
like 5 minutes because like our brain just stares, like you just start staring at stuff and you're like, wait,
Yes.
let me go check on social media. And it's like your brain is like you're fighting everything that's going on in your brain and you're like, wait, at least with the craft, you're like, wait, I have to go to a step two
Mhm.
or step three or whatever step you're on.
Yeah, there's not much thinking. You give the instructions right there to you. So just have to look at them and then do it.
Exactly. Yep.
So I would love to hear a little bit more about your kits and what's
Mhm.
included.
Okay, sure. So our kids think of it as like a blue apron box, right? All those food boxes that come with pre-measured supplies so that you don't technically have to worry about you going to Michael's or like a Walmart and then buying a whole bag of pebbles or like a whole box of canvas. We've all done that where we're like, wait, I'm going to be crafty and I could buy all these supplies and all these sewing supplies because I'm going to make a blanket and this. And then they just sit there because you either get caught up of like fear of like, wait, I need to watch a video or I need to do this. I don't know what I'm going to do. So now it starts to compile in your home.
Yes.
So that was really our goal was how could we make a food kit but for crafts, and that's pretty much we're basically forced to during the pandemic, right? How we started off, we were in-person mobile events. So I managed all of the state of New Jersey with these events, in-person events, and I got stuck with like 5 storage units full of supplies. And then I would go on social media and people are like, I can't do anything. And I literally started mom groups like, hey, I'll meet you here. Like, we'll leave the supplies on the car, and then you grab it, and then you Venmo me. And that's literally how the whole exchange of supplies started. And like the light bulb ideas just started coming on, and like me testing, like, oh, I could create these pebbles in a little bag. And it was like a whole family affair. Like we would watch TV, bagging soil or bagging pebbles. And we went through a lot of trial runs of shipping stuff, breaking stuff, and that's okay. We all had to have those failure moments to learn. And it kind of took off from there. I guess one of my kids landed the right person on a big tech company, and it kind of evolved from there. Where HR directors were looking for like, hey, can we do this event virtual? And I was like, yes, let me ship it to you. And then it just kind of took off. So the big end result is that yes, we're embracing and kind of helping more out, but at the same time, let's say you attend an event corporate wise, now you want to have your child, you want to do this with your child, or you want to celebrate your child's birthday. That's where you could go on our store and then purchase this kit, or you just want to gift it. We get a lot of gift requests, especially like around Mother's Day and all that fun stuff.
Yes. I love to hear how businesses were able to pivot during the lockdown, COVID, and all that, and create something that helps so many more people from that event that happened.
No, I mean, it definitely helped them kind of, do something else that wasn't watching Netflix or watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, during those times, we really didn't have much. We had a lot. We were just in our home.
Yes.
But we just couldn't do outside experiences or do it with other people. But this also allowed us to kind of build a virtual business. Expanding outside of New Jersey. Now we host events across the country. I want to say like about 80% of our shipments go to California.
Wow.
Yeah. But sometimes we also have companies or people that are hosting an event that have members in a different country. We've shipped to Colombia, all over Europe, China. We've learned how to, work with those international customs and everything. But main goal is like connecting. And once you connect as humans, then you could grow together. And that's really what our model is together we grow. Aside from you creating a craft, you're really growing as an individual because you're still. And that's our main focus, is like that moment to be still.
Yes.
And fight that judgment, fighting yourself, like, because when you're doing a craft, you're like, wait, I can't do this. No, how much time is left? And then you're in it and you're like, wait, this looks great. And it's all about like the art. They say that, the art is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and that's how it is. Like, to you, it looks great. You don't need to care about like who you're showing. Yes, your husband might be like, really, we're going to hang this? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to showcase it. I'm proud.
Yes. Well, that actually answers my next question, because I was going to ask how, because I don't consider myself a crafty person at all, but yeah, I was going to ask how somebody who's not very crafty, are they able to do these kits and still feel like they did it well?
I say you can't. Hey, I wasn't born a crafter. I was in the fashion industry. My career when I was younger, about 15 years ago, like when I'm straight out of college, I was like, I want to be like runway buyer. And I did that. And then I saw that it wasn't me. It was like, it wasn't that environment that I wanted to be in. And it was through crafts. I went through a hardship with my father where I lost my father. And in those times when I was with my father, what helped him was crafts. In the hospital bed and like these craft people would come during his hospice time and create crafts. And he was like in this whole inner child, like it brought his inner child out. And I didn't realize that life was connecting me to my next stage in life, which is where now I'm at. Yes. I'm building crafts and I'm helping people go through that therapeutic piece. I mean, because like sometimes at work we are burnt out and we need that moment. And we take little things for granted, even working with nature, right? So, we need to ground ourselves in the ground. That helps our vibration. Plants feel our vibration. We could learn so much from them. And during our events, I cater the events that it's not just about the craft, it's about you with the craft. So like in terrarium and parties, I'm like, okay, are you the plant? Think about your plant. You know, what are you not watering inside? What are you not growing? And sometimes, you know, in a room full of people, they're like, oh, well, why did so and so get a bigger plant? I want the big plant too, right? That's that child, like, well, me too kind of thing. And you're like, no, don't worry, you're going to blossom. You know, don't worry about who that person is, because they're where they're at personally or professionally. You're going to be there. You're going to be there by watering your plant. You're going to embrace it. You're going to grow, and it's going to grow outside of the bowl. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You are the plant. You are the root, and you're going to continue to blossom. Think of the seasons, right? Sometimes, you know, we go through winter, all the leaves come off. They go through thunderstorms. They're still hanging tall. So are you. And that's basically the experience I walk them through, is like, forget about what's going on in life and think about you in that moment. Think about how you're feeling when you're painting that painting, or when you're stringing a guitar for a ukulele. Forget about what's going to happen afterwards, because like that moment you're growing within. Yeah, sorry.
No, I absolutely love that analogy. Like, I'm going to think differently now when I do my kit tonight. Like, yeah, just connecting with the plant, and yeah, what am I not watering within me? I love that. Oh my gosh.
And look at the roots, right? Because when you're working with the roots, you're like, oh, it's just a root. That root is like, you know, your root chakra. Yes. And that's where it kind of manages everything. You know, the water, the food is streaming through that stem. And sometimes, like, you know, plants either curve over because they're looking for that sunlight. The moment we get that sun, we feel energized. So do they, right? They get that sun, they're like, okay, I'm on a roll. I could grow another leaf.
Yes. Oh, I love that connection so much. So, do you have a favorite book that has helped you in your business?
I've read so many,
Yeah,
but
me too.
I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't think about this until recently, that I read it like probably 10 years ago when I was trying to find, you know, what I wanted to be or who I was. And now in life, I'm like, wait, I read that book for a reason. I was seeking it, but now I'm like, wait, I read it and now I could really relate to it. It's The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
Yes.
I hope I'm saying it right.
Yes.
That one really impacted my life. And then The Alchemist.
Oh,
was also another.
I haven't read either one of them, but they are on my list because I've heard so much about them.
Yeah. And then I went on this tantrum. I'm a true Scorpio in me. I need to read everything by that author.
Yes. That's how I am when I find a good author. I'm like, let's just read all the books.
Yeah, let's read all of them. And then you're like, oh, hi, lady. I'm like, oh, this is so me. He's talking to me.
Yes.
No, but I have to say that was really, those two books have really kind of come in and out of my life. I haven't been referencing it, like pulling it out and like, oh, what was I thinking? But now when I reflect back, when I finally have stillness in my life, I kind of see why I did it.
Oh, I love that. And do you have a favorite podcast?
So right now I've been dabbling through many podcasts. Honestly, the one that really brought me into spirituality was Doing the Work by Mari Vega.
Yes. I love Mari.
I know, the minute that I found her, I was like, whoa. Like she really, I was like, I need to know about her. I need to find her. I need to work with her. And that's where I'm at now. And with her helped really helped me kind of go into like, take my business from a transactional piece to a more spiritual piece. Whereas before I was like, okay, you're getting a kit. Now it's like, you're getting a kit, but what are you getting out of the kit? Yes. That I wasn't implementing in my business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, good. Taking it that one step deeper
than
just doing a craft.
Exactly. And for during the pandemic, right? Because I was like, wait, I need to pivot. I need business. And it was like, whoa, I have this art, I have this craft. And as I started to learn more about myself, that I'm a generator, like, wait, I need to use the gifts that I have to really help others. And I found my niche, and that's what I'm really happy about, is that I found it. And now it's like, how do I continue to evolve my business with people and really connecting with them?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So could you tell our listeners how they can connect with you? How can they get one of your kits?
Sure. So on our website at www.craftykit.com. We're also on Etsy. And then on social media, there's several links that would connect you to our site. On Instagram, we're at Shop the Crafty Kit.
I will make sure all of them are in the show notes. Thank you so much for being on today. This was a great conversation. Really makes me think now when I'm doing a craft, I'm really going to go a little deeper into it.
No, absolutely. And even when you're making a craft with your family, think of it. Think of, how they're feeling at that moment, right? Don't have them feel like they need to rush through, like it has to be done. Like really, like it's okay. It's okay if it's ugly or pretty.
Yes. Well, thank you again so much for being on, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you, Jillian.